The mansion was supposed to be their crown jewel. Instead, it became their most embarrassing secret. Exposed concrete, bare framing, no windows, sitting in the middle of the woods like a forgotten skeleton. And two of Hollywood's most image-obsessed celebrities had absolutely nothing to say about it. That silence, that's the story. Because when you start pulling on this thread, the whole thing unravels fast. And I mean fast. Let's set the scene properly. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds didn't just want a house. They wanted a legacy, a full luxury compound in Westchester County, New York. Mansion, pool house, private gym, geothermal systems, wooded land stretching in every direction. The kind of estate that whispers old money without ever having to say a word. And Blake personally showed up to planning board meetings to make it happen. She charmed those officials like she was auditioning for the role of her life. Passionate, warm, deeply committed to local history. She told them this would be their forever home, their main residence. She wanted to be part of the community, she said, leave the Hollywood chaos behind, raise their families somewhere grounded and real. The boards believed every single word. Approvals came through, construction started, and then something stopped. Drone cameras caught it first, and when those images circulated, people went quiet for a second. Because this wasn't a nearly finished dream estate waiting on final touches. This was a skeleton, framing exposed to open air, raw concrete, untreated, barely any windows installed. A structure that looked less like a future family home and more like someone ran out of a reason to keep building. Wait. Two of the wealthiest celebrities in Hollywood just stopped building their forever home? Then the liens dropped. Over $2 million in unpaid contractor debt, filed publicly. Workers claiming construction halted months earlier because the money stopped arriving. And here's where it gets really interesting. Wealthy people with stable cash flow do not let contractors file public liens on celebrity projects. That is a nuclear option in luxury construction. You do not let that happen unless something behind the scenes has gone seriously sideways. Seriously. Because think about what Ryan Reynolds spent years building publicly. This guy didn't just sell a gin brand and a phone company. He crafted an entire identity around being the sharpest businessman in the room. Every deal announced like a genius move. Every interview reinforcing the same mythology. I'm Ryan Reynolds. I don't just act, I build empires. And Blake wasn't far behind. Hair care lines, beverage brands, fashion campaigns, living her best aspirational lifestyle queen era. Together, they weren't just a couple. They were a brand, a business, a carefully engineered fantasy that millions of people bought into completely. But here's what nobody's saying out loud. Brands are fragile, and fantasies are expensive to maintain. Because the second those contractor liens hit public record, watch what happened next. Almost immediately, mysteriously conveniently, stories start appearing about Blake and Ryan being emotionally exhausted, disconnected, sources whispering that the spark feels different now, that Blake's barely leaving the house, baking quietly, staying out of sight, that they're considering relocating to the UK because America has just become too overwhelming. Oh, come on. That is not a coincidence. That is a redirect. Someone decided very quickly that the financial headlines needed an emotional story sitting right on top of them. Give people something sympathetic to focus on instead. Poor, exhausted Blake, stressed, overwhelmed Ryan, a glamorous couple quietly crumbling under impossible pressure. And that UK relocation narrative, genuinely one of the more transparent PR moves in recent memory. Because moving permanently overseas with 4 children, multiple active businesses, ongoing legal battles, and complicated international residency requirements is not something two people casually decide because they're feeling a little drained. That story was planted, and people felt it immediately. But here's where it gets genuinely messy, because the house and the relocation rumors aren't even the main event. The Justin Baldoni lawsuit situation did something nobody on Blake's team seemed to fully anticipate. It moved this story out of gossip spaces and into mainstream conversation. Suddenly, people who normally ignored celebrity drama were paying attention, and they weren't being charitable. key claims started getting dismissed from the case. Major names attached to the lawsuit quietly disappeared from it, and some legal observers started noticing that Blake's attorneys seemed almost obsessively focused on financial recovery during settlement discussions. Less righteous victory energy, more everyone needs to get out of this and get paid energy. Some people started speculating that the pressure behind closed doors was heavier than anything appearing publicly. Then, reports emerged suggesting Ryan had been far more involved behind the scenes than anyone initially disclosed. And almost the same week those reports circulated, settlement momentum suddenly accelerated at a pace that surprised almost everyone watching, like a door slamming shut before anyone could ask more questions. This part doesn't sit right no matter how many times you look at it. And meanwhile, the business picture keeps getting darker. Blake's hair care line quietly faded without making the cultural impact anyone projected. Betty Buzz and Betty Boos never became the celebrity lifestyle empire the branding promised. And here's the brutal truth about celebrity businesses that rarely gets said clearly enough. Your image is the entire product. You are the marketing budget, the brand identity, and the customer trust all wrapped into one person. When your public image starts collapsing, the revenue follows it down. No separation, no firewall, just a direct connection between how people feel about you and whether they spend money on anything attached to your name. Now add legal costs that some insiders describe as genuinely staggering. Elite litigation attorneys, crisis PR firms running parallel strategies, reputation management consultants, private communications teams. Every single week of active legal chaos costs money that most people genuinely cannot conceptualize. And people keep saying Ryan Reynolds is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, like that means unlimited liquid cash sitting ready to deploy. It doesn't work that way. A massive portion of celebrity wealth lives inside assets, equity stakes, future valuations, investments that look extraordinary on paper and can't be touched quickly when you actually need them. When expenses run enormous and businesses underperform and legal bills explode simultaneously, even very wealthy people feel it, especially when the public support that used to make everything easier starts quietly walking away. That's the part that should terrify them most, because Hollywood doesn't announce when it's done with you. There's no meeting, no conversation, no formal goodbye. The calls just slow down. Offers quietly dry up. Brand partnerships find reasons to go in a different direction. Invitations stop arriving. And one day you look around and realize the industry that once celebrated you as royalty has simply moved on without telling you. Some industry insiders are speculating that Blake is dangerously close to that invisible line right now, the line between being someone Hollywood wants attached to their projects and someone Hollywood quietly considers a liability. And Ryan's reputation shifted in ways he probably didn't see coming either. Because once this story exploded publicly, people went back through the archive. Old interviews suddenly felt different. Old red carpet moments got re-examined with new context sitting underneath them. That's the thing about a genuine image crisis. It doesn't just damage your present, it quietly rewrites how people remember your past. And through it all, that unfinished mansion sits in the woods, silent, exposed, skeletal. The monument to a forever home that stopped being built, the visual proof that something interrupted a story that was supposed to have a perfect ending. Blake stood in front of those planning officials and sold them a dream. Permanence, legacy, community, family roots. Now the dream sits half-built with liens attached to it, while the people who built their entire brand around success try to convince everyone watching that everything is completely fine. But the woods don't lie, and neither does the paperwork.